Hi guys and welcome back. Today I'm working on an oil painting and I'm talking about colors, one of my absolute favorite things about art. I love that feeling when you just get that perfect palette right and you figured it all out and everything just fits together like a puzzle and you know exactly what you're doing and it all has that emotion and meaning that you want out of it. It's very satisfying. But I did come to the process of getting the colors picked for this piece with a little help from a class from Skillshare. I love Skillshare. They're sponsoring this video, which I greatly appreciate. But they are an online learning community that has thousands of classes on all sorts of different creative type endeavors. There's just so much out there that really does help kickstart my imagination and my drive to test out and experiment new things. There's just so many classes to pick through and find something that really inspires you to test something out and try something out that's new. They do have an annual subscription too that comes up to less than $10 a month for their premium, which means that you have access to all of the classes. And I do have a link at the very top of my description that will take you over there, and it will give you 2 months free of Skillshare so you can test it out, watch a bunch of classes, see if you like it. But let's go ahead and jump in with this painting and talk about it. So the class that I was learning from and studying about was called Fun with Color, 5 exercises for picking unique color palettes. And there were actually some really fun little tricks and experiments to do to figure out different color palettes that you can use. I chose one of them that she talks about, which was creating a board in Pinterest. And she was talking specifically about creating a board full of colors that you specifically are drawn to. But I decided to pick a color or pick a board that I already had created that was actually, for me, it's based on my like dreams for my house, so what I would love to decorate it, and I figured that would be a good source for colors that I'm already like naturally inclined to like. So she just took a little screenshot of that board that she created. I took a screenshot of my board that I already had, and I brought it into Photoshop and started color picking from it and paying attention to overall themes that I could see throughout the different pieces on that board. So for me, there was a lot of jewel tones, rich turquoises, dark blacks, and grayed out blue colors with a lot of pops of color, mostly in the purple range, and greens. So there was definitely like a certain vibe of colors that I could pick up on. And after I color picked a bunch of them and played around with how they sat together and looked, I started doing some mini color comps to figure out the placement of them. I actually ended up doing a little bit more that I didn't film, where the background I have more variation on the colors of the tiles themselves, and you'll see that because I'll paint it in a little bit, but that was a really fun exercise. It was something that I never really thought about, but being able to take that Pinterest board that was based on my own personal taste for things outside of when I'm strictly thinking about artwork, it was really kind of eye-opening because sometimes I pick for those colors, but not always, and I really like just focusing on things that were like I love, you know? So that was really fun. I was able to just jump right into this painting once I had that little color comp. And most of you probably know, but I am very new to oil painting. So taking that color comp, the digital color comp, and then applying it in oils, mixing the colors correctly and making it look right is a skill that I am still definitely working on. For this one, I definitely mixed her skin too cool toned overall, which is okay because the joys of oil painting is that I can layer and layer on top of it. And in this painting, in this video for this painting, it's only going to be the first layer, the first pass, so it's not going to be complete. But I figured I could show you guys the process of building up that first layer. But yeah, so when I'm up close to it and I'm painting it, it doesn't seem quite as cool and ghostly. And then when I step away from it, that's when I really realized that it ended up being a little bit more on the blue purple than like the warm gray purpley color that I had in my color comp. So as this dries and I'm able to add more layers, that is definitely something that I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on warming up her skin tone. I still want it to be very cool toned. I want the atmospheric environment that she's in to be very cool and for her skin to express that. But I also want her to have a little bit of flesh to her cheeks and a little bit of life there. So that is one thing that I will be working on, bringing it a little bit closer to the color comp. The background tiles is also something that I'm going to continually working on. That area is actually something that I'm really excited about because I want it to have this like antique tile look to it. So I'm going to build up a lot of layers of glazes on top of that so that it almost gets this like glazed like a tile look to it, and also like a patina of age and wear to it. So I think that overall the colors in the background, they're going to, I think, change and evolve a lot more. Right now they feel a lot like candy colors of all the like cool colors. You've got the purples and the blues and the greens, and I think I'd like to be able to mesh them together a little bit more and build up these glazes so that they have more of this smoky mystery to them in the way that the colors are presented. That's just kind of something that I have not really experienced with oil painting yet. It's more like a concept that I think I'll be able to achieve, so I'm excited. I'm excited to test that out and see if I can achieve what I kind of have in my head. We'll see. And I've been doing a lot of research on paints before I start painting and everything, and trying to figure out the whole medium of oil paints. And I found an article on Gamblin's website about their different whites, and they talked about one particular one. I think it's called Flake White Replacement. But they talked about how that one and the paint before it that it's designed after that was actually lead white, how it's a transparent white or a semi-transparent white that's used to create this really beautiful translucency to the skin, because skin is translucent. You see through the layers of your skin, and it creates this really beautiful depth the paint does that you can use to create skin like that. So I bought it. I'm really excited to use it as I do more layers on this painting, as I build up her skin. I definitely want to achieve that look. When I look at other artists' work, that is one of the things that I notice about oil painters that I want to be able to achieve, and that's that depth to it, the glazing kind of a look where something has a lot of like layers to it and it looks so rich and beautiful. So that is one thing that I'm going to make sure that I focus on as I'm working on this painting. As I build up more layers, I want to get that depth of translucency to it. So talking about the color palette a little bit more, I love blacks. I love the color black. I love seeing it in artwork, and obviously it was really showing up a lot in that particular Pinterest board, so it showed up a lot in those color comps that I was making. I wanted to make sure that I featured that, and it just made me really realize that I adore that and I want to use it more. But with watercolors, they just do not show dark colors well. There's just a lot of issues that come with it. They're not really well suited for that, and there's ways around it. You can build up a lot of pigment, but then it gets kind of chalky. You can use inks, but inks have their own set of issues, and anyways, there's never like a perfect way to really achieve these really rich dark colors. So I'm so excited to be working in oils and figuring it out, because this is something that is done so well with oils. I mean, right off the bat I was able to get this really dark hair color for this character, and it was really exciting because it is something that I love, and I have not really realized how much I missed having it in my own work, because when I worked digitally I could always put it in there. It was always in there. I always worked really dark, and now I can bring that back. So yes, I'm really happy about that. I'm really excited about being able to add more layers to her hair and making it have this like shine to it, but also these really dark areas that are almost black or actually black. So yes, there's this whole like section of colors that unintentionally locked out of the way that I work, and they're some of my favorites. And I do have that link at the top of my description that'll take you to Skillshare, so you can get those 2 months free if you want to go ahead and check it out. I also have a link to the tools and the brushes that I used to create this painting down in the description as well. And I have a link to my Patreon. I really do want to give a huge thank you to all of my patrons over there. You guys are incredible. The support that you give me there helps me to be able to make all of these videos here and all of my artwork. So thank you guys so much for that. As I work on this piece and build it up more and build up the layers, I'll be sharing some photos and shots and maybe even some videos of this piece as she progresses over on my Patreon, so if you want to check that out. It probably will be a little while till I can show an update for this one since she's still drying, but that's it for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back next week with another art video, and I'll see you then.